As with each passing year, the house cleaning began in late April, an old ritual to ready ourselves for the new year and the arrival of spring. Culture always approached it with quiet devotion, a patient joy in brushing dust from every forgotten detail of this time-worn house. But this year, he moved with greater care. He swept away more than dust. As the rooms were refreshed, so too was the heart. The air felt lighter, the soul somehow renewed. Beneath the layers of dust, everything had grown dim, blurred like memories, softened by time. When the veil of dust is lifted, the hidden light begins to shine, and Myst, at last, reveals its face. No matter how much I turn the door handle, the door won't open. Suddenly, the door is gone and the handle is in my hand, and I am standing in the middle of the room. The ground beneath me rotates, and it becomes day. I don't know when, but a door, now in a different shape, appears before me again. The round door handle that is left in my hand, I place into the empty spot of its groove, and open my eyes. I raise my hand and block the light. The indistinct sounds of the environment turn into the sound of cultural music. Culture is sitting upside down on the ceiling and slightly pulling the top of the curtain towards himself with his fingers. The warm mid-morning light, in the frailty of winter, journeys from the east to the center of the sky, peeking into my room. The light streams directly from the right side of the room, illuminating a corner and landing on my eyes. I have completely forgotten the dream and the doorknob by now. My effort in remembering it is no longer useful.
Good morning. Sorry if we woke you.
He laughs. I mumble that I'll get up soon and tilt my head slightly to angle it away from the light falling on my eyes. Culture fully draws back the curtain and in the shadow of the other half of the room, exits upside down with playful mischief, blowing a kiss into the air towards me. Squinting under the sunlight, I try to shoot him a half-hearted glare. He calls out loudly.
3 more rooms to go.
I reply, by this time next year, get a smaller house. I pause for a moment and add with a smirk. And make sure it's brand new. No need for spring cleaning.
But it comes with 1,000 other hassles.
I pull the blanket over my face. It slips off my feet, letting the sunlight warm my body.
Not everything new is good.
I make my bed tidily, leave the room, and flop onto the sofa. He arranges the books neatly on the floor, emptying his bookshelf.
Don't trade your tomorrow for your night.
I had things to do.
Well, you could have done it now.
It's too late now.
Late indeed. The morning sun has been calling your name for hours.
I slide my hand through the stack of books piled next to the sofa and randomly pick one. It's Hafez. I make a wish, open the book, and softly murmur, I had a project to submit. I try to read one of Hafez's poems aloud. The intricate Nastalk script makes it nearly impossible for me to decipher. Haltingly, I begin to read. Be blessed is the heart that never strays from the path. He reads it properly for me, effortlessly flowing over the words.
Blessed is the heart that never strays from the path of vision, that answers every call and never leaves unaware. And at the end he says, steer not the hoopoe's crown from its destined flight, for the white falcon does not descend to chase every fleeting delight. Now bring forth the wine and place it first in Hafez's grasp, but only on one condition, that no wisdom shall leave this gathering unspoken. While he's reciting the poem, I get up and head to the kitchen, opening the fridge. The yellow light inside the fridge falls on a piece of bannock bread and a piece of koya cheese. We've got nothing to eat. I pick up the cheese and with my index finger place a piece of its creamy form in my mouth. The taste of the cheese fills my mouth. So what are you eating then?
The most authentic cheese in the world.
It's breakfast after all.
I pop another piece of cheese into my mouth. Isn't it raining today? So we can go shopping? I go back to my room to pick up my phone. As I pass Culture, I run my fingers through his curly hair. Sitting on one knee, he arranges the books on the lower shelf of the bookshelf. He has randomly opened the Book of Gilgamesh and, with an admiring gaze, reads a few lines from it carefully and intently.
Tell me, how might I journey to meet him? And tell, how shall I know him once again? If I must cross the sea, then so shall I. Else a wanderer I remain, lost in the void.
I pick up my phone from the bed and check the weather. Phone in hand, I step out of the room. The soft sound of raindrops reaches me from behind the window. As I walk towards it, I say,
"It says the rain will start at 11, but I think it's already begun."
I slightly move the curtain aside, but sunlight hits my face. Water droplets drip from the edges of the air conditioner onto the veranda.
It's the air conditioner making that sound. It's dripping, must be broken.
You need to call for service in the next day or two, before the holidays start.
Ha! Hoopo! Hoopo!
He lifts his head and looks at the hoopoe.
What is it, dear? Haven't you seen a hoopoe before?
The hoopoe has arrived.
From the valley of Tuwa.
From where?
From, Mount Kaf. On my desk in the room there's a scroll. Could you bring it for me?
Culture gets up and walks towards the balcony door. I leave the door and window open and go to fetch the scroll. The hoopoe, with small hops, makes its way to Culture, who unties a letter from its leg. I hand the scroll and pouch to Culture, and then gently stroking the hoopoe's soft feathers. Culture ties his own letter to the hoopoe's leg, then opens the pouch, letting the bird to peck on the millet. He brings a bowl of water and places it so the hoopoe can rest from the journey.
He will take care of himself. Just leave him be.
Then delicately places it in the drawer of his room. I place another piece of cheese with my thumb on my tongue and ask again,
So, are we going shopping?
For what?
Because we've got nothing to eat.
I'm not hungry.
Should we pick up some Shiraz wine for New Year's Eve too?
He walks into the kitchen with steady, deliberate steps. The Almagest open in his hands, eyes fixed on its pages. From above the cabinet, he takes down a handcrafted bottle of wine, carefully wrapped in a paper bag, and hands it to me.
Wait, Tradition came by? Why didn't you wake me up?
You were fast asleep. He was already a little upset with you.
He says the last line with slight precision, placing his book carefully on the ground.
Of course he's upset. You know how particular he is about respect and formality. Why didn't you wake me?
You know how sensitive he is about all that. Why didn't you wake up?
I have to go see him now.
Now, you have to go see him. He also said that he was on his way to visit Lady Iran.
My dear Bibi Iran, I'll go before the Nowruz, if only for her sake.
I've put the kettle on and go hunting for a melody among the tracks on the music player where Culture has arranged his records.
Shall we listen to something?
We shall.
I carefully flip through the records.
What mood are you in?
I gently set the Stairway to Heaven album aside. The Four Seasons. Symphony number 9. In response, he reads to me from Sadi's Golestan.
Who traded wisdom, piety, and restraint, reaped a harvest, only to see it burnt and faint.
Ah, so you're in the mood for Mirza Abdollah then?
For me, it tastes like morning tea.
Then come, let's have breakfast.
I place Mirza Abdullah's record on, and a voice at the start announces دستگاه شور در آمد. As the music begins to play, I go to the kitchen and make myself some tea. I put strong Gilanti on the candle to brew. While Culture finishes organizing the bookshelf at the end of the hall, I've given the fridge and a few of the cabinets a spring cleaning touch. I pull the curtain back again to check. Has the rain started, or is it still just the sound of the air conditioner dripping? The sun still shines brightly in the clear sky. I close the curtain as Culture starts dusting off the records and instruments. He opens the ney cases one by one, placing them carefully on the table. He replaces the strings on the qanun, kamanche, and the babat, taking his time and working steadily. As he opens the tambur and setar cases one by one on the floor, he says something about each one.
Look at this. This setar is Darvish Khan's. It's about 180 years old now.
With greater care and reverence, he takes one of the tamburs out of its case and says,
Hello, how are you, my dear?
Farabi?
Dear Abu Nasr al-Farabi.
1,000 years old.
1,100 years old.
1,100 years old.
He sits in a corner, his hands as gentle as feathers, plucking a note on the tar. I pause the record midway through the Abu Atta melody, pour myself some tea, and glance outside from behind the curtain. The sky gradually turns grey, with cotton-like clouds in various shades of grey gathering together. I place my half-filled glass on the table, far from all the instruments and books. From the built-in cupboard near the door, I pull out a large bag and start carefully inspecting every corner of it. I sit on one of the two-seater sofas, placing the bag on the floor. The bag is 1.5 times my size. I ensure there are no seams or tears in the bag and clean it thoroughly. I bring out my needle and thread and start mending the bag.
All right, first let's go to Argentina, then France, after that Venice, then Athens, Tokyo, Turkey, Iran, Japan, and we'll return home.
Are you preparing the Haft-Sin?
My mom's prepared it. We'll pick it up on the way to Iran.
I pull the curtain aside, and the sound of raindrops grows louder. I fully draw back the curtain and watch the rain pour down as I finish my tea. Culture carefully packs up the instruments, puts on his raincoat, slips on his leather gloves, laces up his sturdy boots, and places his running glasses over his eyes. I take the banknotes from different countries out of my dresser drawer and place each one in a separate section of my wallet. I put on my raincoat and pull my red tasseled hat over my head. I apply the blue and navy eyeliner and fill my pocket with candies. I climb into the bag and sit down. Culture comes over to close the bag. I play the music and put my phone in my pocket, and I look precisely at Culture, taking in the beauty of his eyes. I zip up his thick coat all the way to his neck and gently run my hand over the small scars on the fabric. With my fingertips, I softly touch his silver beard. I kiss his cheek. He pats my head gently and closes the zipper of the bag. He opens the door. Culture lifts the bag onto his shoulder, kneels on the ground to prepare, and then takes off. Slowly and gently, we rise from the ground. Before I know it, we're soaring over the Pacific Ocean. I climb out of the bag and stretch thoroughly. Culture, exhausted, heads to the single armchair and sits down. From a small pouch tucked under his coat, he pulls out a book he picked up from the Tokyo Museum. Carefully, he removes the book from its leather cover and begins reading under the study lamp. He looked pale. I put another candy in my mouth and swallow, trying to pop my ears. Gradually, the sounds of the environment return to their natural state. I walk toward Culture. I place my hand on his shoulder, gently pressing my fingers, and ask,
Are you going to shower?
Let me gather myself a bit. Get my energy back first.
I'm helping him take off his raincoat. He tries to cooperate, but most of his attention is still on the book.
What are you reading?
Kojiki,
Is it really old?
1,309 years ago.
Don't you want it to stay dry? Let me help you take off your coat.
He gathers his last bit of energy, stands up and takes off his wet clothes. I hang the coats under the pergola in the yard, turn off the air conditioner and toss a few logs into the fireplace. I drape a blanket over Culture. He sits under the light, soothed by the crackling sound of the burning wood, finding peace as he reads his book. I carry the shopping bags into the kitchen. Among the items Mom sent me, I find quince tea.
It's in Mom handwriting, chai beha.
I run my hand over her handwriting and kiss it, and letting the quince tea steep. For lunch, I prepare some Japanese shrimp, sweet basil, and Iranian basmati rice. The sun rises behind the windows, and with the fire lit inside the house, it quickly warms up. Culture carefully places the book on the table, slipping one of his bookmarks between the pages with meticulous care. He's nearly halfway through the book. I stand in the middle of the room, pondering where to set up the Haft-Sin, and turn to Culture and ask,
What was it about?
Kojiki?
Uh-huh.
It's a collection of Japanese legends and myths. It holds foundational information about Shinto.
Oh, I remember now. Haven't you read it before?
Only several times.
He gets up and leaves the hall.
I pick a spot near the indigo blue wall and begin dusting and sweeping.
The sound of Culture showering echoes softly. I pull back the curtain and see the sun gently emerging from behind the dense clouds.
Leaving a corner of the curtain open, I let a sliver of light stream into the house.
I carefully place the Egyptian wooden table with its golden and indigo inlays against the wall.
On the kerman terme spread over the table, I meticulously arrange the taleh bakun dishes. I place the Haft-Sin items one by one into the dishes, arranging them carefully. The dance of light on the wall, created by the sun reflecting off the water, carries me away from this world. It feels as though Sorab himself is whispering to me. Someone must speak of this patient presence, of the garden's gradual journeys. Someone must understand this small expanse, must lend meaning to its heartbeat through the surroundings, and sprinkle a drop of time upon this unaddressed visage. Someone must circle this pure point within the orbit of the element's awareness. Someone must emerge from behind the bright doors. Listen, someone is running along the edge of events. A child is coming this way. I forget everything and sway with the golden and yellow lights dancing on the wall, free from the confines of this body.
Culture, now showered, returns to the room and sits on the sofa, glancing around.
I want to move this bookshelf.
Pointing to the one he is dedicated entirely to Eastern philosophers.
He picks up the kojiki, stretches out on the sofa, and begins reading the rest of the book.
Why do you keep reading these books when you've practically memorized them?
It's like visiting old friends. Every time you read a book, you're inviting its author over for a chat.
I start dusting the sofas. The particles of dust dance in the light, creating a timeless atmosphere, suspended in the air, weightless and free.
Why are these visits so important?
Because in the mirror of the wise and the great, you can glimpse your greatest self. You must take care of yourself, your essence. And those who know the way can teach you how to do it. You learn to care for what you have and to love the place where your roots lie.
I lie down next to him, squeezing myself into the space between him and the sofa.
I rest my head on his shoulder and watch the dust slowly settle on the floor. He wraps his arm around my neck and gently plays with my side using his fingertips. I glance at the poems he has written on the wall in elegant Nastaliq script. Here and there, I see some of his own poetry, like,
"Where should I take all this dust and ashes? I will seed this pain and water it, bringing shade with me."
Should I finally come to know myself, or should I come to know others?
Both, but remember, you come from a family. You are tied to a place, to a language you know deeply. You cannot unknown this language, and no other language can be learned with such depth. This is who you are, but you must also learn other ways of connection.
He gets up and walks over to the bookshelf he wants to move, leaving me behind on the sofa. Slowly, he places the books on the small table. I look at him and ask,
Why you have 2 copies of the same book?
Where?
There, 2 copies of The Alive Son of Awake.
Oh, these are 2 completely different books, by 2 different philosophers. One is by Avicenna and the other by Ibn Tufayl.
I stretch and ask,
Why do you want to move the bookshelf?
Change is good. These little ones need more exposure to light.
Can I not help?
He takes Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Nietzsche from the other bookshelf and walks over to me, kissing my forehead.
Of course, you have to help.
I sink deeper into the sofa as he hands me the book he carries. I take the book and sit upright on the sofa. While flipping through the pages absent-mindedly, I ask,
Why do you read everything? Why not just focus on yourself?
Because there's no such thing as a separate self. Everything is interconnected. The self is vast and collective. You have to learn to move beyond yourself and see the greater reality to truly understand more. You must open your eyes to see and recognize the truth.
And what is the truth?
Light.
He picks up Suhrawardi's book, The Philosophy of Illumination, and reads a passage aloud to me.
If there is anything in existence that does not require definition or explanation, it must be something self-evident, and nothing is more self-evident than light, for nothing requires less definition than light itself. This isn't something anyone can explain to you. You have to seek it yourself, and gain enough experience to find it amidst your own experiences.
Thinking about what he said as I walk towards the curtain and close it so we can move the bookshelf, I tell him I'll empty the books from the shelves and ask him to bring me some quince tea. He brings the tea along with Valrhona chocolates. I place them on my right side, opposite the books.
Thank you, my dear.
I place the chocolate in my mouth. This is the most delicious chocolate I've ever had. I try to describe its flavor to culture.
Everything about this chocolate is just perfect. The coconut flavor isn't overpowering at all. The texture, it's like it's dancing on my tongue.
I hopelessly continue my efforts to explain the taste and feel of chocolate to him.
This is so very delicious.
He stops me.
It's pointless for me to try and explain to you right now how reading these books affects me, or how I draw energy from running my hand over these tapestry rugs. Just like no matter how much you say about the chocolate, I can't truly grasp the exact feeling you're experiencing. I receive some information, but I don't experience it.
He finishes the book, while I carefully sort and stack the books on the floor with the precision culture prefers. He heads to the room, retrieves Farabi's tanbour, and adjusts its tuning. I push the now empty and lightweight bookshelf to the spot culture pointed out. He begins playing the tanbour. The sound of culture's playing lifts me from this world, carrying me to another realm.
Culture turns his attention to the paintings and tapestry rugs, dusting them carefully and where needed, mending small sections to ease their wear and pain.
The folk tapestry needs a lot of work.
He pauses, steps back from his task, spins slowly around, and surveys the room. Meanwhile, I arrange the last of the Eastern philosophy books on the bookshelf. Occidental Exile, the red intellect, illuminationism, philosophy, and perennial wisdom. He stops, stands still, and gazes at the bookshelf, running his hand over the books. He picks up his tambur from the sofa, sits cross-legged on the floor in front of the bookshelf, and begins to play. I turn on the air conditioner, wander around the house, and admire its cleanliness while nibbling on the chocolate, savoring it piece by piece. Lost in my thoughts, the combination of the tambour's melody and the gentle dripping of water pulls me into deep contemplation. Imagining the rain and lost in my daydreams, I suddenly pull the curtain wide open. Sunlight floods the house all the way to its farthest corners, and the sound of the tambour abruptly stops.
Without looking behind me, tears stream down my cheeks. The sound of the air conditioner's dripping fills the space with a heavy stillness.
I look back, see a golden dust settling on all the books, shimmering under the sunlight. The soft, radiant glow rests upon the paintings and finds a quiet home on the tambour. I walk toward the golden dust left behind by culture, extending my hand into the sunlight. Dust rests gently in my palm. With care and reverence, I place the tambour on the sofa. I return to where culture had been sitting, take his seat, and stare at his bookshelf.
Reaching for Hosen Odell by Sebek Neishapuri.
I open it and begin reading, surrounded by the lingering dust of culture.